I became
this sober vet.
Don't live, don't live, don't live.
Our mission is to normalize sobriety with veterans who are using and abusing substances in a harmful, self-medicating way. Welcome, world. We're here. This is Sober Vet, episode 22. My name is Joe York. I'm joined by Dr. Teresa Thomas. What up, Dr. T? How are we?
doing good.
So blessed to be here. It's another day sober. That's a blessing, right?
That's what's up, Joe.
I love it. So I have some trivia for you. I see that you're sitting down, so you're ready for this?
I'm ready.
So in a sport long considered a German tradition, American women have made blank their own, winning more Olympic medals than any other nation in those events. The USA with 9 medals, Germany with 6, Canada with 5, Italy with 1. And I'll give you a hint before you could fill in this blank. Do you remember the movie Cool Runnings?
I do remember that movie.
What was that about?
Oh my gosh.
It was a staple in our childhood. My childhood. You're a little older.
Was it bobsledding?
Yes. Bobsledding.
Ah, yes.
Good job. So our guest today is actually a total badass American Olympic bobsledder. So
Sweet.
I would like to introduce, and this is going to be a long one because she's just amazing in every way. I would like to introduce Riley Tejcek, who is the first female Marine on Team USA bobsledding. She is currently serving as a Marine, as a captain, and she is a logistics officer. She was the Female Marine Corps Athlete of the Year in 2022. She was Miss Military in 2024. Pause. Dr. T, I'm a little disappointed that you were not Miss Military in, what were we in, 2003, 2004? Opportunity missed.
I didn't know.
I didn't know either until I saw this. All right. And this is really cool. She just released this year a children's book. She is the definition of sober and thriving. TSV Group, I would like to introduce Riley Tejcek. What's up, Riley?
Hi, how are y'all?
Fantastic. Welcome to the show. We're so happy to have you on because you can't make this up. That what I just read about you is freaking amazing in every way. So congrats on being you. You're awesome.
Yes.
Oh, the Lord has blessed me beyond measure, for sure.
Amen to that.
Great.
Amen. So if you don't mind, we're going to jump right in. Can you tell the world why you chose the Marines?
Yes, so I feel like every time you talk to someone who's in the military, there's generally 2 routes. Either you had family members and it's been a legacy, or you absolutely had nothing. And I'm in the camp of I had nothing. Of course, both of my grandparents, I never end up meeting one of my grandfathers, served at some point to some capacity, but didn't talk about it and wasn't like a legacy by any means of my family. So the military was never something I ever considered ever growing up. It was always college athletics. And I was blessed and fortunate enough to get a Division I softball scholarship when I was in high school. I played softball at George Washington University. And I knew that going into DC that I wanted to be involved in the government to some capacity because I was right there. So it just made sense studying political science and trying to get an idea of what was going on. And to be honest, I wanted to be a CIA FBI agent. Like in my mind, I was 18 years old. I was like, that looks cool. Whatever. That didn't last very long until I met a Marine recruiter just 3 weeks on the college campus as an 18-year-old. And that changed the whole trajectory of my life. I suddenly wanted to lead and be a part of a very small population where women existed as officers at the time and go in and be a servant leader.
Good for you. That is outstanding.
Hey.
Very nice. And what year was this?
That was 2015.
Okay.
Yeah, 10 years ago.
Nice.
It's crazy.
So this whole show is to discuss addictions, discuss what helped you get through them, and just talk about the celebrations on this side of sobriety, which you have a lot of, and we will get into all of them. So can you take us back to whatever your addiction of choice was and kind of how you guys started with that, and then when you kind of decided that it was enough and stopped that?
Yeah, so mine's a little bit different. And I don't know, maybe more people can relate to this than not. But I was searching for meaning and purpose. And I think a lot of us all have that feeling at some point in our lives, right? Why am I here? What am I doing? I don't feel complete. And so you're just grasping and you're searching for things. And people fill that with all different kinds of things: idols, their job title, alcohol, relationship, music, events, drug, like you name it. I feel like as people, we're out there searching for meaning, for purpose, to feel something. And I remember in college, searching for that, and my vice was accolades and awards, which
Mm,
again, I know that sounds silly. It may not be what people think of, but I think if we really ask ourselves as humans, we all can relate to that a little bit. So
Mhm.
I felt this emptiness on the inside, and I kept wanting to feel that by hitting certain benchmarks and standards that I thought people would look at as great awards, right? Starting as a freshman at a Division I program, getting a 4.0 GPA, working for a congressman, being the Atlantic 10 conference representative, all of these things. And so I was just trying to pile them up. And every time I accomplished something, being a Marine, there was this great pride that came and it instantly was gone the next couple days, right? Once I
mm,
achieved it. And I'm like, gosh. And so I was like, well, I gotta do the next thing. I gotta do the next thing. I gotta do the next thing. And I was just wearing myself out. And so within that, and I think kind of what you're talking about, but more so my story was I was just again searching for meaning and for purpose. And when I didn't find that, I would just try something else and I would try something else. And I put my worth into that. Now, in the grand scheme of things, when you look from the outside in and you look at my resume, most people are like, well, that's not a bad thing. You're highly driven, you're successful, but too much of anything is an addiction.
right.
It is something
Mhm.
that like I was thriving for, to gain how other people saw me. Like they're, well done, Riley.
Validation. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Mhm.
And that is something that is real that people don't talk about. Now, what I will pull back on, and I know again talking about what this podcast is, and we'll get into that later, I actually never had a crazy relationship with alcohol because I didn't love it, because I didn't like what it did to my body. As a Division I athlete, transitioning to the Marines, transitioning to Team USA, I was like, if I'm drinking, I'm staying up way too late. I'm eating pizza that I don't
Mhm.
want to do, and I'm not waking up and getting after it. However, and this is being really real, really vulnerable. I know we're just getting into it right away.
Just
Like
do
we're
it.
just,
Jump
That's
right in.
okay. Yes.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
why I was so excited to talk to you is because when bad things happen in my life, when I went through my divorce, especially,
Mhm.
and I felt like my foundation was broken, and I was frustrated with God and all of these things, I would turn to alcohol to have a little bit more courage because I knew that I would make decisions that I wouldn't make normally.
Mm,
Mhm.
right.
And I hated it. But I was like, I want to escape what I'm feeling right now. So
Mhm.
Mhm.
alcohol was never a vice for me because again, it was that in college searching for that success. I ended up finding Jesus throughout that point, and I was pretty steady, and I was having a really good trajectory until the divorce happened. And once my divorce happened, I started spiraling more. I had not drank alcohol for 2 to 3 years. I did not drink.
Mhm.
All of a sudden, I'm starting to drink a little bit more.
Okay.
I'm starting to get a little crazy. I'm starting to rebel. That's the best word I could put it. I'm starting to rebel. And I was allowing myself to make decisions because I was drunk. Oh, I
Mhm.
didn't really mean it.
Right.
Oh, I said that thing. I didn't mean to say that. Or,
Right.
oh, haha, that was so funny. Yeah, I did that. And I'm like, well, it's kind of embarrassing, but I was drunk. Like it was fine.
That liquid courage, right?
Mhm.
And I knew
Yeah.
sometimes I was putting myself in situations that I knew were going to get me, lack of better words, in trouble. Trouble the way I see it, right? Because I was going to drink and I didn't care. Because that was my excuse, that was my out, because I wanted to numb and get away from what I was feeling,
Mhm.
and that's when I realized instantly, I'm like, "Wow, alcohol is so powerful," and it's really how people go about it and why they use it, because there's a difference between casually enjoying it and abusing it and doing it for the wrong reasons. I think it's a very, very thin line, especially in our community.
Absolutely. Yeah. Very good
Mm.
point. So during this journey, when did you find God? Because it sounds like once you found God, you were able to find that strength to
Yeah.
move on and get over this.
Yeah, that changed everything for me. So it was about my sophomore year. So there's a year and a half of like that searching for something, right? And it was these accolades that I was trying to fill in. It was relationships. It was whatever I could tie my name to. Riley the softball player, Riley the athlete, Riley the academic stud, Riley the works for a congressman, Riley the leader, whatever it was. And then I found the Lord because I was like, I tried everything. and I couldn't shake it. And my teammates were like, "Well, if you've tried everything, try Jesus." I'm like, "I already did that. I grew up Catholic. It wasn't for me." They're like,
Mhm.
just try it." And after finally giving in, my whole life changed from the inside out. You talk about a renewal. I mean, I stopped cursing. I changed the way I dressed. I changed the friends that I hung out with. I changed the way I saw the world and I saw myself. Instantly, I didn't feel like I had to be this person.
Mhm.
And that purpose, that why, was answered instantaneously.
Mm.
And I've been
Wow.
able to carry that from that day out from when I was 20 up until now, so far in 8 years. And I have never had such a clear and straight and arrow purpose and validation for my life. However, does that mean that the trajectory has been like this and there's never been a slip up and there's never been trials and tribulations? Absolutely not, which is why I brought up that period with the divorce, which is why I know that I slipped.
Mhm.
Because like I said, something that I always wanted to do was I saw the relationship that people had with alcohol and drugs and these highs. And I was able to always remove myself because I was just like, I don't need alcohol to have fun. I'm very bold. I'm courageous. I'll go out on the dance floor. But I like to go to bed by like 10 p.m. Like that's
Right.
just me.
Mhm.
And I didn't like what came with it. I didn't like that culture of going out in clubs, and I just didn't think it was genuine for a relationship. And that purpose came because of what the Lord told me through the Bible. And again, it doesn't mean I don't have fun, and trust me, I have a lot of fun, but my fun looks different than what other people's fun might look like.
Mhm.
And so it was really then no alcohol, was on a pretty good trajectory, and then boom, divorce happens and you just find yourself wanting to go backwards. I just wanted to rebel and I just wanted to be numb and be away and not feel what I was feeling and escape it at any part of time. And alcohol obviously was the only way to do that, at least so I thought. And so it was me needing healing and to do the hard thing, which was sitting with that and talking about that and recovering from that terrible thing that happened to me. But the easy answer is turning to the bottle, is turning to try to escape whatever it is, and that is one of the most dangerous and slippery slopes that I almost didn't catch myself till I was like, "I'm starting to make bad decisions. I don't like the person that I'm becoming. I don't like the friends that I'm hanging out with. I need to change." And again, ever since, no more alcohol, and I'm fine. And again, I never had a problem. I was never I never had more than, like, 2 or 3 drinks,
Mhm.
but it was what was associated with that,
Hmm.
and that ability to wake up that next morning and be like, "Oh, it's okay. I said something a little, like, risky or mean to somebody. I was drunk. I didn't mean it."
Right.
Yeah.
False. Your words have power, and it says in the Bible to be of sober mind.
Mhm.
Hmm. That is such a good point, and it's interesting because on my journey, when I was drinking, which was for a very long time and for a very bad, massive amounts, I would always think of God in the background, like I almost looked at myself and all the situations I was putting myself in from drinking, from the victim mentality. Oh, well, this happened. Like,
Mm,
I'm such a good, I don't get why this has happened. Like, this is why I drink because no one understands me. Or like, I was living in Excuseville. I had all these negative things that just turned into an avalanche. And like you said, it is real quick to spiral down. And luckily, you had the courage and the knowledge to stop it before it got real bad like it did with me and a lot of other people. So kudos for you for doing that. And again, to have the strength to lean on the Lord because you change people, place, and things in order to do the right thing for Riley. I think a lot of our listeners need to hear that because
Right.
everyone is so stuck with where they are. They're so used to relying on the same people, and you're only as good as your circle. And if your circle drinks and does whatever substance you're doing, then that's always going to be your solution, and you're never going to get out of that until you take the mentality Riley did and change people, place, and situations. And look at you now, like that is amazing. And again, you hit it with another truth bomb: is that once you turn to God, it's not always going to be rainbows and flowers. And no,
Absolutely
yeah,
not. Yeah.
there's going to be down
Mhm.
times, there's going to be trials and tribulations. And in my opinion, it's the journey that you need to be on to become who you need to become. Attention veteran entrepreneurs, we've got a special announcement just for you. Marathon Business Advisory Services is proud to present a unique opportunity, a J-Dog franchise, veteran owned and ready for its next chapter. Whether you're looking to own your first business or grow through acquisition, this could be the perfect fit. And the best part, it's completely confidential, with no cost and no obligation to explore the opportunity. Just reach out to Jay Calandra at j.calandra@marathonbas.com to learn more. Support veteran success. Build your future. Let Marathon guide the way.
Riley, how are you able to change people, places, and things, right? We have some folks that are like, you know what, that sounds good, but these are the only people I know.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And that's a real thing. And you could want to change, but making the actual change and doing it is a whole another piece of the pie. So for me, like again, really life example, I was hanging out with certain people that after the divorce, oh, these are my single friends. They want to go out, they want to go to the club, they want to wear certain stuff, we want to drink before, we want to drink after, we want to, this, that, and the other. And then all of a sudden, again, I just had that conviction because of my foundation. And some people don't have that foundation. Again, it didn't take me very long to be like, hold on, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And to your point, Joe, you are who you spend your time with.
Right.
And
Mhm.
so ask yourself, who are the 5 people that I spend the most time with? And would you trade your life with any of those 5? If the answer is no, then you're around the wrong circle.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes in that, the answer is no. You wouldn't trade your life for them. So your circle of influence, your sphere of who's dictating your thoughts, your opinions, your decisions is actually leading you down a bad slope. So to your point, okay, sounds great. Acknowledge I'm not where I want to be. I want to be better. I want to change my circle. Okay, how?
Yeah.
And I think it comes with a simple point of being intentional. It's not going to change overnight. I'm not saying drop these people and be mean and ghost them and say sayonara and be by yourself. That's not what I'm saying because you're not meant to do life alone. I'm saying put yourself in situations of people where you look to be like them. And so for me, oftentimes I go to non-denominational church. I look to my pastors and some of the women in relationships and I'm like, you know what? I want to emulate you guys. So what do? I'm hanging around them. I started going to a women's group, a women's faith group, and we had small group and we had Bible study. So we'd go to church together and then we'd meet at a coffee shop or we'd have lunch and we'd sit down and we'd talk about Jesus and we'd read together. And then instantaneously afterwards, and those are the friends I'd get dinner with. And then it's like, oh, do you want to go on a walk together? And, this, that, and the other. Or here's a big one I'm just gonna throw out there. It's really hard to live a lifestyle where you're drinking and being obnoxious on the weekends and having a high level of physical fitness. I'm not saying it's not possible,
It is
Mhm.
hard.
but it's very rare that those 2 things can coexist at the same time.
Right.
So, get yourself a gym membership.
Mm-hmm.
Show up to the gym.
Okay.
Sign up for group classes. That's something that's so easy. Start meeting people. Start having an accountability buddy that goes in this. Oh, here's a crazy one. Sign up for a 5K.
Right.
Something that's sounds big but not, right? And hold yourself accountable because I tell you what, it's the same for me because I felt this. I just went on a run before this. I love on the weekends, I get to sleep in till 8 a.m. I know it's crazy. 8 a.m. for me is I really slept in.
Mm-hmm.
And I get to go, and the first thing I gotta do is eat breakfast, and I get to go work out. And I start my day on the weekends. It's my favorite thing. But if you're out on Friday night,
Yeah.
you're sleeping in way past 8 a.m. I'm telling you that much right now. And then you're hungover. You also, by the way, also fed your body probably McDonald's or Taco Bell in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm.
And ain't no way you're working out. You're laying on the couch being hungover, feeling sorry for yourself. So what I mean by that is if though, on that Friday night, I got to work out in the morning. I'm going to this class. I'm going to spin class. I'm going to go run with so and so. Whatever. Maybe that decreases your chances of hanging around those friends, having excuse, having something else. Because that's what I realized.
Mhm.
Trick almost your brain into having something else that's more important than what you're currently doing. Because if you're doing nothing, you have no plans for that Friday night, and someone asks you, hey, you want to go out tonight, man?
Right.
And you have nothing going on, you're way more likely to say yes.
Uh-huh.
But if you're able to already form other plans around those people, centered around fitness, centered around people that you want to be with, run club, whatever, the likelihood that you're going to say yes to that decreases, which helps you. You start hanging around different people.
Mhm.
Then all of a sudden you start hanging around different people, you're gonna start emulating them.
Mhm.
So then you start acting a little bit differently. You start showing up a little bit more, but you have to start by being intentional.
Yeah.
And what is it that you want to look like, and how can you get there? And I tell you what, it is so much easier nowadays than it's ever been before.
Mhm.
If you want to be involved in something, it is so easy. It
Mhm.
is so easy
Yeah.
to just sign up and look for things that are going on in your area. And again, if you have those things, you have people holding you accountable that you're coming to, I just think that's the easiest initial step to decrease the ability to throw yourself back into that position.
Riley, you are so spot on. So, a couple
Yeah.
things while you're talking that made me think. Number one, the senior pastor at my church, Senior Pastor Amy, she was an addict. She talks about it often in her sermons. She literally has been through hell and back, and now she's a senior pastor at my church. And that, because she came to my church when I was still drinking, so that kind of planted that seed. Like, wow, like if she could go through that and become what she is today, there's a chance for me like that. So that kind of put a crack in the dam when I was like in my journey. And then to your point, so we 2 episodes ago we had a gentleman on, JT. He's with Consequence of Habit. He has a nonprofit in Wilmington, Delaware, and they sponsor vets to go on this thing called, it's like a Warriors Weekend. I'm actually going on this Wednesday to Sunday, and when he talked about it, he was like, "Yeah, we sponsor vets. Fill out this form." It was only like 3.5 weeks ago, so I was like, we'll see." And I'm not in the best of shape, so when I found out I was accepted, I immediately started Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm running. I have to get out and run because I'm Army. I don't want this all for vets. I
Right.
don't want them to be like, "Oh, here's the Army guy coming in last again." Nope, not going to happen.
No, you gotta represent Joe.
As soon as I had that commitment, I completely cut sugar out of my diet. I started eating better. I sleep from 9 to 5. I'm in bed by 9. I'm out of bed by 5 at the latest. And yeah, I'm running. And to your point, there's been times where, like, for example, my kids just started school. We have a family tradition. After the first day of school, we purposely wait till we're all home sitting at the table and we enjoy cookies and milk and have our kids tell us everything that happened on day one of school. This is the first time I didn't eat one cookie because I
Yeah.
know where I need to be and I'm putting that first. So, Riley, you are spot on. And I feel like our listeners definitely needed to hear that. So, thank you. That is so good.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes, and I'm hearing that sense of community and that support system is very, again, important as well. You need to be able to connect to other like-minded people so that you can get into the place that you're wanting to go.
Yeah. It's your tribe.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I tell you, that tribe is the most important thing that I've ever learned in my 20s is having your sphere of influence, your tribe,
Mhm.
people that can get into your thought patterns, make you think differently. But that access from a biblical standpoint needs to be very hard for people to penetrate.
Mhm.
Those need to be people that you really look up to, that you really value, again, that you would trade your life for them, right? Like that level of acceptance into what it is that they live their life and how they live their life. And if you're not surrounded by those group of people, you need to find it. And again, how? Well, I want a tribe, Riley. How do I find it? Look what Joe just said. There are programs, there are so many programs, especially for veterans and military. But even if you want to get away from the military, there's other things too. Surround yourself with more people, meet new people,
Hmm.
let people know,
Yeah.
hey man, like this is something I struggle with. Like, brother, I'm really gonna need someone to lean on. Like, are you okay to like, be my sounding board or this, that, and the other? And people are like, yeah, we're not meant to do life alone. It says that biblically. Where two or three or more are gathered, the Lord is present. You are not meant to live life in separation. And I swear the worst thing that happened to us was COVID in the sense of like, I can only imagine how happy Satan was knowing that because everyone just isolated and kept to themselves.
Hmm.
And there's
Mhm.
nothing worse than that as people. We're not meant to live life like that. Get off your phone, get out of your house, go be outside, go be with people, go do things, go interact, go laugh, go smile, go back to the basic human things that you want to do. And I'll also say this, just lastly, just not being the dead horse, but there are times when I too have felt like I wanted to spiral into depression and I didn't have any motivation to get up and go. And my biggest thing is like do hard things. It's a lifestyle. It becomes a habit.
Right.
And I
Yep.
think drinking becomes a habit. It becomes, oh, I came home, I drank a cold one, I drank two, I drank three. Okay, that's my normal, that's my baseline. If that is you listening to this, that has become a habit that's ingrained in your lifestyle. That is not something that you can just shut off cold turkey and you think is going to be fine. However, it doesn't mean that you have to stay that way. And just like your habit isn't going outside, going on walks, talking with your spouse, talking and hanging out and playing with your kids, meeting new people, that too can become a habit.
Hmm.
So you can break a habit
Mhm.
and you can build a habit. And there's books and there's psychological talks about how to do that. And just step by step by step by step. And you don't have to do it by yourself. So I just say that for encouragement. There are some people that where you are right now, you recognize it's bad, but it's going to take some time and it's going to be hard to break that habit. There's also some people that maybe are coming out of that need to make some new habits. And it's going to be hard to make that new habit. Pick your hard, but once you get it, again, then it becomes second nature. Then you don't know any differently. Now you're living and you're flourishing in a life that is one that was called for you for your purpose. I'm just gonna say this now. Each and every one of us are uniquely here and made for a purpose. We have gifts that the Lord has given us on our lives. Gifts that are different than Joe's gift is different than my gift, than different than Dr. T's, and is different than yours.
Yeah.
But the world needs your gift.
Mhm.
And the world is waiting for you to unleash your gift because there's someone out there who needs it. And if you aren't of sober mind to be ready to have those interactions and you're living in this outside world where at work you're one thing and at home you're another, or at 9 to 5 you're something, and the other hours of the day you're a whole different person that's unrecognizable, you're not living up to your potential. And I'm just gonna hit you with that in a loving way. There's so much more to you that the Lord needs, that the world needs, is waiting for, and you are not alone. And you have 3 people that are here right now that are ready and able to step alongside you and be in partnership as you navigate whatever it is that you need to do.
Amen. Amen. Very well said. And it's so true because the ultimate form of self love is to take care of yourself. Like you ever hear the adage of if you're in an airplane and the oxygen mask comes down, you have to put yours on first in order to be able to help your kid or whoever's next to you. If you're not taking care of yourself, like you said, you'll never be on the path to take care of others like God wants you to. Like the
Mhm.
reason why you're here, you'll never be able to do that because you're so focused on the inner and what you're destroying your body with.
Mhm.
So yes, Riley, you're just nailing this one. You're hitting the nail on the head each time. Like I
Absolutely.
love it. Are you enjoying these stories of veterans totally rocking it with sobriety? Here at This Sober Vet podcast, we want to keep bringing these warriors' tales of triumphs to you. However, we need your help to make that happen. We're in need of sponsors for This Sober Vet podcast. That's right, now's the time to show your support, advertise your brand, or just make a monetary donation. It's easy. Just go to our website, www.thissobervet.com. To become a sponsor, fill out the form on our contact page. To donate, just click on Support the Mission. Let's keep shining a light for those still in the dark. Now, can we jump into some of the extracurricular things you're doing? And you could tell them in your order, but from the things I listed on your resume, how did all this come about? Like, it's so impressive.
The Lord. That's the easy answer. God just blessed me tenfold, and my word and my purpose, I feel like, is impact. I want to populate the kingdom of heaven. That is my purpose. My purpose is live this life as a servant and tell and spread the good news and live a life that I can love on others and pray over them and just live a life as close to the life that Jesus did, and not that I'm even close of that, but at least to try to mirror it as best as possible. And so I believe a gift that he's given me is a gift of boldness, but also like athleticism. And I've been an athlete my whole life. I've played softball, and sports has been able to be a beautiful place to spread the gospel because even though people might not speak the same language or from different ethnicities and cultures around the world, people love competition and it's the same sport. So whether that's through softball or for bobsled, it's been incredible to see the ministry that's been able to come through sport. And that's been amazing. And so at the age of 22, 23, I started the sport of bobsled, transitioning from softball, joining, the military and having the mandatory training, and then competing while serving active duty, which has been the biggest blessing I could have ever asked for. And so,
How did that happen? Bobsled,
Yeah, how did
like
that? Yes.
yeah, essentially when I was playing college ball, I met a bobsledder, and she was also had played softball at the same school I did. So there was an instant connection
oh,
there. And I wasn't done competing. I felt like it was the middle of COVID. I was searching for something. So, I was out there searching, what can I be involved in? How can I continue to compete? And I saw that bobsled was having tryouts. And I, without ever doing it, I was like, you know what? Let's go for it. And my command and everyone was really supportive. But I mean, in all honesty, I'm just now announcing my retirement.
Mm.
I competed in the Olympic trials. I didn't make it. I didn't make top 3 to get named to the Olympic team, which is fine. I actually have so much joy about it. I have been able to have the most incredible career. In 5 years, I've competed in 2 world championships. I won my first gold medal in January.
Wow, congrats.
Awesome.
I have competed all throughout North America and Europe. I've met people. I've been able to spread the gospel. I've met some of my best friends. I mean, I can't say enough amazing things about it. I've served my country in 2 ways.
Nice.
Mhm.
And even though I wanted to be the first female Marine in the Olympics, and I wanted it so bad, it wasn't in the cards for me, and God didn't have that. And I have peace and knowledge knowing that. But through that, I've been able to realize that impact.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And that came from sharing my story. And I'm like, wow, I need to be bold in this. And I wanted to share my story with young children. I wanted to let young children know who maybe had a similar story to me. I never saw a female Marine serving in the military. I never saw a female being very successful in sports in the early 2000s that could do that as a career. I always thought I had to either be a tomboy or like a pretty princess, right? Like as a woman, I didn't really think that there was a whole lot in between.
Mhm.
And after winning a pageant and after, doing bobsled and the Marine Corps, I wanted to write a children's book that's called If You Can Dream It, Be It,
Nice.
which is revolving around a story of a little girl trying to navigate and figure out what she wants to do when she grows up. She's interviewing people that she looks up to, ultimately realizing, I want to do all of these things, but society is telling me I have to pick one.
Mm.
And then she realizes, you know what? I'm going to be bold and courageous, Joshua 1:9, and I'm going to tell people I'm going to do all of this. And despite getting made fun of a little bit, she comes back years on, having been a Marine captain, member of Team USA, pageant winner, and author, showing the youth that if you can dream it, if you can visualize it, if you can see it,
Mhm.
you too can become it as well. So don't give up on your dreams. Chase them with all that you have and allow it to be big and think out of the box. And that is honestly my biggest, I don't even know, accomplishment
Mhm.
compared to anything else. Like you think it would be the gold medal, you think you would be competing in world championships, you think you'd be promoting to captain and all this in my deployment and awards and recognition from that. No, writing this book that has came out recently has been the most rewarding thing I think I've ever done. And it's brought me more joy and tears realizing that I have been able to impact the lives of children all over the US by showing them a real story and initiating a spark in their minds as they're, roughly 4 to 8 and they're creating those core memories.
That is amazing. Congratulations. Freaking awesome.
Absolutely.
Now,
Yeah.
is that available on Amazon? Because we could definitely put a link to that on the description.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
cool.
available on Amazon as well as the publishing company I work with is an all women's Christian based company. So a little bit smaller, so you can buy it from their company as well.
That's awesome. So, Riley, question for you. If you read this book when you were 5 years old, how would it change the
Mm.
trajectory of your life?
Because growing up, I never saw a female service member. I didn't know that women could be in the military, let alone the Marine Corps. And at the time, I grew up in Indiana, Caitlin Clark at Indiana Fever, like, let's go. But at the
Mhm.
time, they were playing in like high schools.
Mm,
And you surely couldn't have done that. So I think me as a little girl seeing that would have truly realized, oh, this male dominated realm of the military could be a possibility for me. Wow, there is someone who's a professional athlete and does all these other things. Like she's doing it. Like I could do that too. Or wait a minute, I can be a tomboy and love sports and camping and all that stuff and be feminine, wear a beautiful dress, and that's okay. And those two can exist at the same time. Or my favorite, I can grow up and I can get a college degree in something such as political science and a bachelor in arts and science, saying y'all, which I joke on, and still publishing and writing a book. And that's an option too, because you have a story of your own that people need to hear. So
Right.
again, I would love my book to be a bestseller. Don't get me wrong. It's hit that time and time from Amazon. But instead of focusing on that award and accolade, it's how many young children can I at least share the story with? So there's no more young Rileys that didn't see a woman serving, a woman being successful in sport, or a woman being able to do both.
very nice. Have you been able to read your book to kids in local libraries or anything yet?
Yeah, I've gone
Nice.
to a couple of schools. I've done some events at like the USO. So I've done stuff with the military, outside of the military,
Oh, good.
and those events, my face hurts afterwards from smiling so much because I am just tickled to see the reaction and how much people love it and the questions they ask me, and acting like I am just like the coolest person in the world, which I'm like, there's no difference between you and me. Like, you guys can become this. Like, you can do whatever you want.
That is amazing. Now, I hope all of our listeners focus on the electricity in Riley's voice.
Mhm.
This is what happens when you put addiction to the side and you focus on what your life is meant to be. Exactly what Riley's doing right now. So Riley, you're just I'm in awe. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. Like
Absolutely.
you're definitely a light for those in the dark. That is amazing. Now,
Yes.
did you throw the pitch at a local baseball game, or what did I just see on IG?
Yeah, so I have done a couple things here recently, which has been amazing. I actually got to go to the Cubs White Sox game at the White Sox Stadium in Chicago, and I was able to be the hero of the game, which was absolutely remarkable.
Nice.
I was just also the hero at the game at the San Diego FC Football Club soccer match, which
Okay.
was super fun. It was my first professional soccer game I've been to. It was amazing.
Nice.
And yeah, I'm just trying to continue to spread. I'm in recruiting now, so I'm a logistics officer, but I'm in recruiting because of my unique background. And I'm trying to also, spread the message of what the Marine Corps can do for people, how the Marine Corps also gives you that sense of community, how it can bring you maybe out of your environment, your situation, enlisted or officer, and how it can give you a life. Now, sometimes there are people that are stuck and they maybe have never no family have been to college, or maybe they have to go, work at said name fast food restaurant or live in their parents' house, right? I'm able to also, share the gospel, but also say, hey, like the military can offer you some stability and we can give you, a parameter to lead you into a successful life and built in, good things. Now, for the people that are listening to this, you're like, well, I was in the military and that's why I drink and that's why I smoke or this, that, and a third.
Right.
Mhm.
I hear you, but it's up to every individual person on how they wanna change that culture, and I have a holistic goal to completely change as much as I can the culture into a very positive manner, into something where we have Marines where instead of, maybe taking on bad things, they're going to college. They're getting additional, degrees. They're doing things that they've never done before in their life. They're starting businesses. They're having, first generational successful marriages and children and this, that, and the third. So while everything you could think of that could be bad, there's also that many things that you could be positive. And it's up to leaders and the quality of people we're bringing in to change that culture, right? Because you are who you surround yourself with.
Absolutely.
Right.
Very nice. Now, how
Mhm.
are you doing? Do you have a quote each month for how many males and females you need to recruit? Or are you focusing mainly on females, or what's your approach to that?
Yeah, so actually we eliminated the quota for recruiting women and men. We just are going by different components of like ground, air, law. People don't even realize we recruit band. So we have what's called a MEOP program. And people don't even realize that. We go to like high schools or musicians and we're like, you can be a musician for the rest of your life, actually, in the military. People are like, what? People are like, wait, you have lawyers? And I'm like, yes. Like you can't handle
You
the
can't
truth.
handle
I
the
know
truth.
you've heard that
Yeah.
quote. I know you've seen it. And then obviously like aviation, reservists, and ground. So instead of focusing on men versus women, we just are looking for Marines, which is so awesome that we're back to that. But I personally don't have a quota, but we have people that are assigned to mission, and we have a mission. I'm at the region, so I see the whole western half of the United States, and my goal is to help those people that have that quota. And I basically go out, give talks and presentations and stuff like that. So my job and how I see it is I just want to recruit people that maybe don't know the military is an option for them. So I'm looking to share with a lot of athletes
Mhm.
and stuff like that. And then also just people who are curious. And so you'll see me at a bunch of recruiting events. I just went to the on IG, the San Diego State football game, and I had my motivated pull up bar, and I'm trying to, bring people in. And I have two missions. Obviously, my mission number one is to spread love, kindness, and the gospel right in a way of just loving on people. And then two, just educating the population on what the military has to offer because I do think it's incredible. I had the chance of doing far many other avenues in job opportunity, making a lot more money, but man, I would choose the Marine Corps 10 times over again. And so just trying to let people know what that option looks like.
That's outstanding. So, Riley, I have a personal question. So, when I was on the bad side of my addiction, I would view people like you that are doing good, feeling good, like all these accolades. And I would kind of hate on people like that and be like, well, they don't know what it's like to have a bad day or blah, blah, blah. Can you tell those who are currently in the addiction that, yes, you still have bad days and what you do to continue to stay motivated?
Yeah, what I would tell you is if you're basing your thoughts on me, based off of what you see on social media, based on what you think you know, you're wrong. I have been touched and hurt by divorce, by suicide, by death, just as much as anyone else. And I have suffered through that. The difference between me and them is my perspective, is that I have joy in my heart, not happiness, joy. Joy that and peace that surpasses understanding. But I would argue you have no idea what people's heart is.
Mhm.
I just heard a story from a Marine that I look up to very, very much. And I had no idea that he just lost his son 2 months ago. His 3-year-old son
Oh,
drowned.
ooh,
And I had no
Mm.
idea. I walked by him and he has a smile on his face. He was, kind of motivating to me. And I heard that and it absolutely shattered me. I'm like, how could you walk around with a smile on your face? But then I think about myself. I walked around with a divorce. I walked around with suicide touching my life, with death that people have no idea what's going on. And so my thing to you would be you have no idea what's going on with people.
Mhm.
It is not up to you to judge on what they are. And as much as you are hurting, why would you inflict that on someone else? And that's my big thing with the veteran community. Veterans attack each other and active duty military members more than anything I've ever seen.
mm-hmm,
We make up 1% of the population that decide to serve. 1%. These people that are in this community, Joe, you, me, my brothers and sisters, we all went through something hard. There was all the sacrifice. I don't care if you deployed. I don't care if you medically retired. I don't care if you did 4 years or 30 years. We all experienced something that was tough, and we all are part of this elite population of people that decided to do something. So how dare us turn on one another and try to put down each other and say that my hard was harder than you, or I'm going to hate on you because you're living this life. You had opportunities that I didn't. That same mindset. Why would we not take that and be like, praise God, thank you that you don't have the same experiences that I did because I had something that was really tough. And I'm so glad that another human doesn't have to go through that. Because even though misery loves company, I wouldn't wish on my enemy
mm-hmm,
the thing that it was felt like going through any of those heartaches and hardships. I wouldn't. I would I would never, I wouldn't want anyone else to feel it. I'd rather take it for everyone else.
right,
Or I don't know, the amount of time and effort it takes for you to type something mean or in that way, right, hate on somebody. First of all, why say anything? It actually took up more of your time. Or two, you're speaking death and you're speaking like negativity on people. And what is the one thing we talk about in the military community that 22 a day means?
mm-hmm,
22 a day is veteran suicide.
Mhm.
And 22 a day, if you were asked that, what are components that surround people with suicide? A lot of things, but let's name some: isolation, being attacked or not a part of a group or community, people not listening to you.
mm-hmm,
So why would you then inflict that pain on someone else openly and willingly to make yourself feel better?
right,
It actually makes no sense. What makes sense is if you see that just to do nothing. But then I'm going to challenge you one step further. When you give someone a compliment, it's free, but the impact that it has is priceless on someone else's life.
nice,
Yeah.
So if you see someone that's doing something that you wish that you could have done and that wants to inflict envy initially, why don't you just try it? Say, wow, congratulations. And I guarantee you, you'll feel better about it, regardless of their response. But you could have just made someone's day. You telling someone, you know what? I'm so happy and proud that you didn't have to go to work. Congratulations on your 5 years of service and getting out and going to do something else. That's awesome. Hey man, I'm a veteran. If there's anything I can do for you, let me know.
mm-hmm,
That took the same amount of time, effort, and energy it takes, but you just now had an impact that is priceless versus an impact that could destroy another life
Mhm.
that you could have been a part of. And I'll tell you, I have 99% of the time extremely positive impacts of people interacting with me and seeing the things. And then I have some haters. And I'll tell you what, some of the things that they have said are egregious and terrible and hurt. They hurt.
Mhm.
Just not that long ago, I had someone, and again, faceless, whatever, tell me to go kill myself.
damn,
And I was like,
Wow.
and I'm like, the suffering that it causes, I don't take that personally because I'm like, that individual needs it.
mm-hmm,
But I can't change your perspective of me, and I'm not gonna waste my time trying. But I'm gonna pray for you. I'm gonna love on you, and I'm gonna hope that you have that heart shift. And then I'm gonna take that negativity that you just gave me, and I'm gonna dish it around, and I'm gonna throw it out with a positive.
mm-hmm,
And I made an Instagram story that same night, and I said, for as much as someone wants to breathe death into me, I want to pour light into everyone and say, like, you are so loved. You're here for a reason. You have purpose in this life. If you are struggling, don't stop. Your life is worth living. I care about you. I see you. We are here for you. So I go on a tangent about this, and I'm sorry, I'm very passionate about this. I don't understand why our community attacks each other more than anyone, and why we give such low blows and we cut people at the knees. But what I have learned through this all is if there is enough people that realize that, that can combat that, that realize that that's a heart change on you. Them doing whatever they are doing has no impact on your life, besides for making you reflect that you're not where you want to be.
Right.
Mhm.
So use it as a reason to better yourself than to tear someone else down.
Well said. Man, good job.
Yeah,
Stand innovation for that. That was awesome. Good job.
absolutely.
Yes. So I'm the senior vice commander of my local VFW, and we have such a hard time recruiting like people our age and younger, the OIF Global War on
Mhm.
Terrorism vets, and a lot of them say there's two big things they say. Number one, it's revolved around drinking, and like this generation doesn't drink as much, which is great.
Mhm.
And that's why we try to do a lot of different events that involve families and not drinking. And number two, a lot of people say, well, whenever I've been to a VFW, the Vietnam vet or Korean vet says, well, you didn't have to go through the shit that I went through. And it's always like a comparison. It's like, bro, like I'm a
Mm.
vet, you're a vet. Why are we comparing? So Riley, you're absolutely
Right.
right.
Period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't
Yeah.
know why our community does that. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
And instead, have the courage to say, "You're right. You served in a different era than I did. Can we talk about it? Can you share what your experience was like? Can I share what mine was like?" But we have a mutual respect instead of trying to compare and one up one another.
Hmm.
Like, tell me,
Mhm.
what was it like in Vietnam and Korea? I can't imagine. Let me tell you what it's been like when I went to Iraq last year.
Hmm.
Mhm.
This is what I saw.
Right.
This is what this is what I noticed. Well, actually, you know what? It feels like we are completely different, but we share so many similarities.
Hmm. Exactly.
Learn, interact, right? Like, shoot, that's the best way to go about it. But from a humbleness of, yeah, you're right. We had very different situations, but we still did the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good point. Talk one on one with that person who's currently using or currently in that self doubt situation, and just kind of give them some motivation to choose sobriety or choose to get rid of whatever they're doing to themselves that's negative. If you could just kind of whatever advice you would give to that person to convince them to kind of get on this side of sobriety.
I see you, and I know that you're listening to this for a reason. You're not here on accident. There is a reason why you're listening. There's a reason why you're searching, even if you feel like you have no energy to keep going. You are here listening to this podcast because you know that there is some kind of hope, even though it may seem unattainable to you. I just want you to know today that you are not alone, that your life is worth living, and that you are caught in addiction that started, and it doesn't matter. I don't care about what happened in the past. I care about who you are now and what you choose to do in the future. Your past is forgiven. Your sins are not held against you. What matters now is how you choose to go and how you choose to live life going forward. You have myself and two other people who are going to love on you for whatever way we can, no matter what. And not because you did anything to earn it, but because the good Lord has put on our hearts to interact with you. I hear you. I know that you're stuck. And honestly, I can't imagine the tragedies that you have gone through. But what I can do is help partner beside you and dictate and change how our future looks. You have a life worth living. You have people that are waiting for the gifts. No one can make it happen but you. Reach out. We are here for you. And know that you're not alone in this process. My name is Riley Tejcek, and that's how I became this sober vet / active duty.